south now. That's the area we just walked around. As you can see, this is a real straight stretch. There's that freight engine again. Some kind of gas pipeline terminal. So yeah, the river does have other uses besides just being a riverside park. There's other things that are still along the river. It used to be all ships' wharves. Look at pictures back in the day, and there's just a constant line of ships perpendicular to the shore at various piers, wharves. Now it's mostly green space. For a while it was nothing, and so New York really wasn't taking advantage of their waterfront like, say, Chicago. So, but New York finally got its act together, mostly under Mayor Bloomberg. And he had good people under him, very development and improvement minded. Now this is a cruise ship terminal, which is empty now, and it's going to be empty for a while. This is where that Navy ship docked that they brought to provide overflow capacity during the height of the pandemic in New York. And it was very lightly used, but heavily guarded. There were a lot of military and NYPD officers. So that's all gone now. That ship left a while ago. So New York's numbers of new coronavirus cases just totally dropped. There's like only a handful of people a day now. So hopefully it'll stay down. There's always talk of the second wave. So we'll see. Hopefully not. This is June 2020. They're talking the fall. Rapid Air and Space Museum, built on a former aircraft carrier. My cousins from Scotland were over, and their little boy liked this museum so much they went twice. Here, they once had concerts at one of these piers here. It was a great venue with the river right behind you, outdoor concerts, but those have not happened anytime recently. If you go in Brooklyn, there was a park a couple of years ago at least that had outdoor concerts. In Williamsburg on the East River, also a great setting. So this is the Javits Center, which is being expanded. And behind it is the new West Side Yards project of apartment buildings and commercial offices. And what a time for them to just open, and now people are leery of going into their offices. So it remains to be seen how that segment of the market will do. Residential still seems to be strong, but commercial office could be a different story. You might be hearing the wind. It kicks up a little bit. It comes up the river, so a little windier now as we go south. It's a great way to get some exercise no matter where you start. A lot of people do it for this reason, just to combine your commute with getting exercise. So it's definitely good for that. Talking about the West Side Yard project, what you can sort of make out is an elevated steel structure. That was an old rail line that's now the High Line Park, which is a great thing to go to in New York. I think they got the idea from Paris. Something similar, and below that structure you can see trains parked. Those are for the Long Island Railroad, and so they will go, they store them here during the day, and then they'll go back east, take people home at night. But the whole area is going to be built over, the whole yard, so it's getting there. It's like half covered, still a ways to go. There's a heliport here. That's what you hear. That was pretty good timing. So over to the right here, you're not really supposed to ride your bike in there. It's just for pedestrians. You can walk your bike. Similarly, this is supposed to be a bike path just for bicyclists, but there, you'll see people running along. And I don't think people have a super big problem with it. Cyclists, I mean, they don't mind. Rollerblading used to be a bigger thing. It's not as big, but one thing I did see, I've never seen anywhere else. Maybe it happens in Europe, but I've seen a group of rollerbladers sort of in a pack, like a peloton would be with bicyclists, and they are going so fast, they're so good, they're so synchronized that they draft behind each other, including going uphill in Central Park. And that's the only time I've ever seen that, but only in New York, at least in the US. If it's anywhere else in the US, I'd like to hear about it in the comments. One thing you can't pick up on the video is smells. You can smell marijuana occasionally. It's not legal, but it's not enforced. It's just live and let live, but not officially legal. Not for sale in New York. New York and New Jersey, two very liberal, progressive states, always talk about it, but never actually legalize it. So they're not like some of the western states in the US, or some of the ones in the East. It's another thing where they talk about it during campaigns, like it's definitely something they're going to get to, and they never do. I don't really care one way or the other, but I just think they're misleading people by saying they're going to legalize it and then not. But anyway, this building is fantastic. I don't know what it is. I think it's commercial. I think I've seen like a architectural firm in there, at least previously. So now you can get a view of the World Trade Center down Lower Manhattan. We're at West 17th Street. So we're making progress. See construction cranes across the river in New Jersey. This is a brand new park that they're building. It's taken them several years to build. They placed these precast concrete sprout structures. I think it's supposed to be open next year, 2021. Yep, spring 2021. And they just started planting trees there, so it's really starting to take a look. I guess it's to create the idea of an island, another place for people to go experience the river. Can you see the High Line there crossing? Street. It's the Standard Hotel back there. It's a great location. Probably not very cheap to stay at, although maybe now there's great rates. That's this new modern structure is the Whitney Museum. I moved down from the Upper East Side. They've only been there like a year or two. And now even that's boarded up. I'm sure it will reopen. Just a question of when. I mean, and some people talk about, will things even happen this year, 2020? I would think so. It's already June now. So, and I know they're still undecided about the schools. They're planning on opening in the fall, but it's always subject to reevaluation. It's just like the professional baseball league, which was supposed to have started their season in March, April. And now they've pushed that start of that season, abbreviated season, till July. And they hope they can do it. So, I mean, the rest of the ride here is pretty much the same thing. Parks, places to sit. In the past, there would be occasional venues too that sold coffee, like a little outdoor cafe. It's not open currently. There's another pier going out to the river. More interesting apartment buildings, very high end. People want to be by the water. Christopher Street leading to the West Village. So we'll go down a little bit further. We're not going to go all the way. I've decided to save that for a separate video because this is getting quite long. But where I would normally be headed on my morning commute would be for Lower Manhattan, just north of the World Trade Center, and then cut east across and go over the Brooklyn Bridge. So this is a good place. I think we're going to stop here at West Hudson Street. Thanks for joining me. While I'm here, I should mention Lower Manhattan. This is the unfortunate stretch of the bike path where a terrorist guy drove onto the bike path to intentionally mow over anybody you could move over, and it included a group of cyclists from Argentina and a young mother from Belgium, as well as some Americans. So pretty sad. So they've beefed up the security of the bike path. I didn't want to ride on this for a while. I just avoided it for like 6 months, maybe longer. And it's not like it never happened, but there's no memorial for the 10 or so people that were killed that day. But yeah, this is the area that he drove down. I remember seeing a picture in the paper online after it happened, and they were treating a young woman who looked just like my daughter, and she used to work right down here, 1 or 2 streets over. And I thought, oh no, did she come over to the river to take a break? But she told me no, that wasn't her. She had actually called in sick that day. So, as if you needed any bigger reminder than the New World Trade Center of what has happened to New York in the past, and why there's a very strong anti-terrorist sentiment, as there should be in this city. Alright, so we'll see you in the next video.